Another thing I was fascinated with this particular piece was the shadow.
I want to talk about the show we saw tonight, but also, about the company and how it operates in Germany as well. But
Sure.
I want to start with just thinking about the works that you assemble for the company to dance. You commission some, you get some into the repertory that you've seen elsewhere,
Yep.
and you make some. Let's talk about first what it is that you are looking for in a dance that you've seen. Maybe you see somebody else do. What makes you know it's a piece for Dance Gauthier?
That's the hard thing. I'm always looking for. Well, when I created the group was 8 years ago. I was coming out of. I'm Canadian from Montreal, and I moved to Stuttgart in Germany with the age of 17 to dance for the big ballet in Stuttgart, the Stuttgart Ballet. And I was there 12 years, and in those 12 years, I had a wonderful time in the classical ballet world, and I lived so many great moments. But then I turned 30 years old. I'm already 30, believe it or not. Yeah. I turned 30, and then I thought to myself, I have enough of Swan Lake, and I have enough of. I was dying and everything. I died in Romeo. I died in Swan Lake, and then we even have a German Nutcracker where I died in it. That was like I said I want to live a little bit, and then I got offered. Our city of Stuttgart has two big theaters. One is the state one with huge amounts of money and everything, and the other one is a private theater, which is a touch smaller and more modern. It's an old fabric, but the chief of that theater always dreamed about having his own company, like a resident company. And so he spoke to me when he heard I stopped the ballet.
Because you had made a couple of dances, including Ballet 101, the first piece we saw in the program, before you stepped
101 I made the year before I stopped dancing. Actually, stopped dancing in Stuttgart Ballet.
And so then you became the first resident company in that space.
That's it. Then I said yes. Who's going to say no to an offer to make his own group? We started with 6, so I said, from the Stuttgart Ballet with 80 people to 6, I said, how am I going to do like an evening with 6 people? But it did work. And now we're 16, actually. I just brought 9 with me, but we have 16 dancers in the company. And then I had to create a vision. Why should there be a second dance company in Stuttgart? Because it's very famous in the whole world of dance for the ballet. And I didn't want to make Gauthier Dance as the Stuttgart Ballet 2 or the junior group of Stuttgart Ballet. We had to really make a boundary clear.
And that company has also a wide repertory of classical and neoclassical work. So you really were trying to think like, what aren't they doing that you could do?
Yeah, but even deeper. I lived at the State Theater there, and I have to say that a lot of the public is elder. And one main thought that I had a lot when I was inventing the idealism of Gauthier Dance, maybe we should find a public for the future. That was my idea. How do we get a young public to fall in love with dance? And I had the experience with my wife. This also influenced a lot the vision of Gauthier Dance. My wife is not a dancer. We met 12 years ago when I was still at the ballet, and I brought her to see on our third date. She came to watch me dance Swan Lake. Yeah, I was dancing the Prince. And that was like a bad idea. It was her first ballet. And then, no, I really believe if you see dance for the first time and you don't like what you see, you won't go to dance anymore. You'll say, that's not for me. Dance is just not for me. And so with Gauthier Dance, what I'm trying to do is that we invite schools. I mean, like 1,000 kids are sitting there and they're all like, we don't want to be here. But we show them this and they all say, we love dance.
Well, one of the things that I was struck by tonight is that rather than the 3-act ballet that unfolds in the story and the sets and everything, it's that you introduce us to ideas and the works that you put out there. That the first work, 8 minutes long, then we move on to a new idea that complements it. So it's really that you have a different kind of pacing for the whole show versus a full-length ballet.
Definitely. I mean, that was Ella's vision also, that we bring this. This is what I like to bring. An evening like this, it's not usually like pas de deux and a solo and a pas de deux and a solo, and it's a bit like a ballet gala tonight, I find. But it works. It works within the space, and we don't have a lot of.
We don't know any better. We just know what we saw.
Oh.
And we loved it.
Well, we do much bigger ballets with big sets and everything, and we do full-length evenings as well. Right now, we're touring actually Alice in Wonderland from an Italian choreographer, Maura. It's a really big show, multimedia, everything. But I like to, when we go to a place for the first time, or to a city for the first time, I like to show an evening like in this genre, because this is Gauthier dance. This will make the people. Did you feel how much you love dance at the end there? That's.
I mean, one of the things that I was also thinking about is a through line for some of the pieces, not all of them, is the sense of humor that's in them.
Yeah,
That,
that's a big thing because I live in Germany. And you know, I don't know if you know German dance, but so there's the ballet, and then there's like the Tanztheater, and it has to be painful, and it has to be deep, and no one should understand, and yeah. And when I was building the company 8 years ago, I said to myself, what is missing in German dance? And I was like, maybe a bit of humor, you know? Like, so when we came out, actually all the critics, they were quite evil with me. And they were saying, this is popcorn dance, this is cabaret ballet, this is... But, you know, 8 years later, now they're quite quiet about it. Because like, everybody loves it. Like, masses can enjoy dance. Like, Germans can have a good laugh. You know, I'm not trying to make you laugh out loud. You know, sometimes it's just a little blink of an eye or something, but you get it, right?
but I think the thing that sometimes often gets overlooked in humor is the artistry that's in it, not just in
it's really hard.
Right. And so I was thinking for the dancers that they're having to do these incredible, the incredible movements, but then they also have to have the sense of timing on top of it. And,
Yeah, but I look for dancers that can do that. That's why from my company, from the 16, I mean, there's the one German, the big blonde guy, the beautiful big blonde guy. But all the other ones, they're like from all over the place. The Australians and Americans and Canadian, Switzerland guy, and Belgium, Holland, Brazil. You know, so because I have to, they're very special dancers, to be honest with you. When I make an audition, often, now we made one just a few weeks ago, and I had 800 people, and I had 2 jobs. And actually, I took nobody. Can you believe it? Because they're all good, but you have to find this dancer that's willing to go over the border of just doing steps and being okay with fiddling with humor or fiddling with a very deep piece like the second one tonight, Now and Now. I mean, they're beautiful together. I mean, and that's a special dancer right there. Yeah. Maura.
So I want to ask about coaching floating flowers. And they're so clearly the upper body and lower body in the first half of the dance. Could you just talk a little bit? Yeah.
The choreographer is a young man that no one knows actually right now. His name is Po Cheng Tsai. And I was in the jury of a competition last year in Hanover in Germany, and a choreography competition, and his piece didn't win anything. And I was sitting in the jury, and I was like, "This is the best piece really." It was really. It's a wonderful pas de deux. You don't see one like that every day, yeah. And then I was in the jury room with the 6th there, and I said, "You can't believe it. You won't give him any prize." And then I said, "Well, I'm gonna buy the piece for my group, and we're gonna tour the world with it. So it's better than any prize, you know."
This is a question about her observation is that the music over the course of the evening really is wonderful.
Yeah, it's a nice mix.
Can you talk about how you're working with the? I mean, in some ways it's up to the choreographer to choose the music, but then you're putting stuff together.
The music, you know, when I like the piece with the 3 men with Dean Martin, like 50 Shades of Gauthier Dance there, you know. That piece, I just saw it and I said, this is it, you know, this is us, you know, Dean Martin music. And I knew that my boys would dance that well because maybe some director would be scared of, you know, showing the body of us, but my boys look beautiful, so I said, let's show them, you know, show them. I mean, the first row in the pillows here, my God. And they were all like teenagers.
I just want to ask about the Cayetano Soto piece.
Mala Sangre,
let's talk a little bit about the scenic elements that are, I mean, easy to tour with when you're not touring your multimedia Alice in Wonderland, but adds a whole other kind of visual pleasure to the dance.
Yeah, he thought black butterflies. At first he wanted, I think, 10 times this much, and it was like piles everywhere, and but that was his idea, and he said a lot of spots, and the spots should dance on their own. That was his vision in the beginning. And he did do that, but it's just at a moment. Actually, Mala Sangre was just built again for Philadelphia Ballet this year.
So this is also, again, a very different kind of dancing. It's sort of a more exaggerated sense of the body. And so another shift.
Mala Sangre also means bad blood. And he had the idea this one day all his friends were in a bad mood. And he was like, you're all mala sangre. You all have bad blood today. And because they were all like, he's Spanish in Barcelona.
And so then that fed into the piece, yeah?
I guess so.
Yeah, okay.
It's a great piece. He made
Yeah.
it for us. So it's a great honor when I think 4 companies are dancing this piece now, and it was made on us. So that always gives me this beautiful feeling.
That you did the right commission. And,
Yeah, we did something good that now gets shared with the world.
Y si mañana fuera casa